All right. I'm going to be on here for a little bit on the X-Men promotion page, YouTube Live, and you know, this is when I actually have finally something to talk about today. So the rumor around was, where are we at? Where are we at? I know there's nobody on here yet, but eventually people will join. All right, 30 seconds. So today, I just got in the news early today. Hold on, I want to be heard here, so I got my microphone all the way up. Let's see where we're at. People might look on, they might not. I don't know. So I got the word that Orenthal James Simpson had passed away today. And I know a lot of people, what they're going to say, OJ was, he did this with Nicole Brown, and, the situation happens, and, I think, hold on. I'm still going into this, dude. Hold on. As far as it goes, O.J. Simpson had passed away today. He was 76, apparently. And I know that a lot of people are going to bash O.J., and they're going to say, O.J. was a bad guy, and, he got away with stuff. And that's all well and fine for people to have their opinions about this. But the truth of the matter is, when talking about... Oh, wait, I got one more I'm going to try to do. I'll send 1, 2... Figure I'd switch it up to doing this, because I don't, like I said, I don't really I haven't done too many YouTube lives. This is the first time I've done this in a while, so I really want to talk about, just doing this off my phone. But I wanted to talk about Orenthal James Simpson, O.J. Simpson, and his passing away today from cancer, apparently. And like I said, people are gonna bash it. They're gonna go bad on the guy, and But here's the thing. At the end of the day, O.J. Simpson has had a lot of accomplishments in his life. He had a lot. He won his Heisman. Believe it or not, he was actually there when the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs for the first time in 17, 18 years or something, right? So, with O.J., things are a lot different. I know there was a lot of turmoil and speculation about what had happened with Nicole Brown Simpson back in the early 90s. I'm not going to say he did it or he didn't do it, because I don't really personally know. I don't think anybody really knows, except for maybe Nicole Simpson and O.J. Simpson, and maybe a couple others. The story doesn't, it was a national headline in 94, 95 that O.J. Simpson went out and did what he did with Nicole Simpson. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube Live, so I don't want to do that kind of stuff. But we all know what happened in 94 and the trial and everything that happened with it. And unfortunately, it's a tough one. It's tough. His career had gotten Sasquatched at that point. He was never going to get his career back after that. He had, even though he was found not guilty of it after about 8-9 months, it just always sat and lingered. I remember the 94 NBA Finals, and I remember watching the finals. Game 3, I remember it. Ewing versus Elijah. I think Ewing was getting ready to hit a jump shot. I just remember O.J. Simpson had gotten into a Wake Ford Bronco and drove down the highway, and, he did what he did. And it sucks, because he was just doing what he did, unfortunately. I got she's dead. But yeah, OJ had a Heisman. OJ was a very good running back. OJ Simpson was also in the Naked Gun movies too, amongst other things. I think that people forget promotion from the promotional side of things. There was Jordan. And then in the NFL, there really was O.J. Simpson. There was Bo Jackson, then there was O.J. Simpson, and then there was a couple other guys notable. But at the end of the day, O.J. Simpson was a figure, you know. Like I said, the Nicole Brown Simpson thing really got him. And then, he went to jail. He didn't go to jail, but then the second time he tried to obtain all his stuff illegally, and he went to jail for 9 years for that. OJ caught himself in a lot of stuff, And honestly, as much as people want to say it, I'd watch some of his Twitter feeds, and OJ, I think he kind of wanted to make amends for whatever he did do or didn't do, just like any other human being. But he was very good. I'm really going to say this: The Naked Gun at the late '80s, early '90s was a very, 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 very good movies. With Leslie Nielsen, him, and apparently Al Yankovic was on there too. I know a couple. I talked to a couple NFL players here and there. I don't know. The only one I think that might have played with O.J. Simpson, possibly, I don't even know if it did or not, might have been Urban Fryer. And I might ask Urban Fryer on the next time him and Hollis go on their podcast. Because I'm kind of curious as if Urban Fryer had ever played against O.J. Simpson, even at one point. I don't know. O.J. Simpson's career, I think, was over late 80s, but maybe Urban Fryer might have played. I don't remember. I'm going to have to look that up, actually, link that. So I ask him. I know it's he lost another NFL player to age, and speculation. But OJ was different. He was a different player. He had a lot of accomplishments as an athlete, and it got sideswiped because of a lot of things and a lot of speculation and things that could have happened, that did happen. No one really knows the facts. And Johnny Cochran was a very good lawyer. He passed away. It's just sad, because even though everybody said, "Oh, OJ did this and that," but he was an iconic figure at one point, kind of like Bill Cosby. I think people forget when you get lost in the limelight of things, when you get lost in the hoopla of life, your career can be at the top. And then something like that happens, and it just puts it away. Look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby had 3 different TV shows. And he had a lot of movies in the 80s. And he was just, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. People can say what they want about, the girls and whatever he did, supposedly. But, it's kind of almost the same thing with Cosby and OJ, Bill Cosby had a lot. And he was a very high-profile speaker, As was OJ. OJ was a very talented person, And I feel like their careers ended the wrong way. I did, and I've always said this. Like I always thought Cosby was very funny. I always thought OJ Simpson was hilarious in The Naked Guns, amongst other things. And whatever else campaigns that he had back in the 80s, 90s. His Heisman. He was a very, very good running back. I can't really oversight the whole thing with OJ. When I heard he had passed away today, first I thought foul play. I'm not gonna lie, I thought foul play because of all the Nicole Simpson things. But I don't know. They're saying it's cancer. I don't know what it is. If it was or isn't, who knows? That's something for him and his family to discuss. Whatever family he has, and may rest in peace. Unfortunately, this sucks. Very tough time. So anytime you hear anybody go, like you hear the Muhammad Ali's passing, and you hear, Bill Russell's passing, and then you see, guys, iconic people. To tell me that O.J. Simpson wasn't in the same category as like people like Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, it'd be blasphemy. The only difference is they won more championships. I don't think OJ did win a championship. I think he might have won one in college, maybe. But let's be realistic. OJ Simpson is different. He was something different. He was. He was probably one of the best backs in the NFL at one point. He'd been there And he went in 2017 right after he got out of prison. For the 9-10 years that he served, Las Vegas, got out, and then ended up going to, the Buffalo Bills game. And they just kind of went at it, And the Bills, I don't think they won that game, but at least they played and they were there. But they might have won that game. I don't even remember. I mean, Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback, and that was I would think that was the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, I think that was the year. And OJ was out there with the fans, and there was actually a group of fans that actually embraced him to come out there, and I give them a lot of credit for that. But yeah, OJ passing away today was tough. I never got to know him. I mean, I always wanted to sit down and talk to OJ one-on-one. I know that it seems a little crazy, but I wouldn't get him to, not to admit anything, but just to kind of get a gauge of what happened. And a real honest answer. Hopefully you could get an abstruse answer. I don't know if it ever would happen, I don't know if anybody's actually ever went and did that. But OJ, passing away is tough, Had he not been convicted, accused of conviction, I mean, how much more iconic would he still be right now? That's the question of the day that poises me to the whole situation. It's the same thing with Cosby. When Cosby does pass away, and he's in his late 80s, I think. What's next? You know what I mean? Is his legacy so tarnished that he won't be remembered as one of the icons? It's the same thing. OJ and Bill Cosby, the same kind of category. It sucks. Honestly, I would love to meet Bill Cosby. I would. I'm not ashamed of that. And whatever controversy falls into that category, falls. But I believe that when you got to that pedestal, that you deserve at least some dignity and at least a chance to defend yourself, And when stuff like that happens, it's kind of disturbing that, people just stay bitter, They don't know the facts, but they go out and they stay bitter. And that's really where I was at with it, the whole thing. Same thing with Bill Cosby, Did he do 2 years? I think he did like 2 or 3 years in jail, too. And then something got reversed. Now, how does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, where does it even fall into place? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I always think that people deserve their chance to defend themselves. And, OJ, he did get caught stealing the trophies back. But you know what? I kind of thought about it, and I get it. He shouldn't have did it the way that he did it. He should have tried to go through the legal system and get back his Heismans and whatever else he was trying to get. And he would have did 9 years. But he got it all stripped from him. Like, I kind of thought of myself, like, what if I had everything taken from me? Just by word of mouth, not by physical evidence. Like, how would I feel about that? And, when it happened and he got 9 years, I was like, well, unfortunately you have to do things the right way. You can't do them the wrong way. And that's what OJ did. And he got 9 years. And he was sitting in a Las Vegas jail, and then he finally released him in 2017. I followed that story for a while. He had disappeared. He had been for a while, so that whatever that was, 2006, 2007, that's probably when he got convicted of it. So, it was tough. It's harsh because the man ever since 1994 has always been scrutinized. It's kind of like how Trump is right now, where they're looking for reasons to continue to keep people down. That's how the world reacts at this point. They want to see the great ones fall too. They do. They want to see great ones fall. Look at Jordan and Pippen right now. Why? Pippen's hate towards him because his son got with his wife. Okay, that's over. But was he a horrible teammate? No one knows. But all of a sudden you said, I wouldn't have won nothing without him, but now all of a sudden you're saying he was a bad teammate, and you could basically make it out like you can't stand somebody. That's kind of a double standard. You're mad. you're upset. You're upset because of that. So your best way is to vent it because you didn't get your contract. And okay, whatever happens, happens. Now it's 30 years later. I think people need to sit back and just, it's never going to be pinned backed up. But, I will say this much. Those Chicago Bull runs were amazing, regardless of what it does. And Pippen and Horace Grant and Luke Longley and all these guys, if that's how they feel, that's they're entitled to that. But we all know at the end of the day, and I somehow got into this, and this falls into the category of hate and greatness. We all know that if 23 doesn't suit up in a basketball uniform for the Chicago Bulls 1991, 92, 93, 95, 96, 97, 98, and even other years too, if he doesn't suit up, they're not winning. We all know that. There's no way that those teams would have been able to win a championship. The New York Knicks probably would have had 2 or 3 rings. The Rockets had 2, obviously. The Knicks probably would have had 1 or 2. San Antonio Spurs probably could have snuck in there at that point because they had the Admiral, they had Sean Elliott, they had Avery Johnson. Could have been a dogfight. Utah Jazz, they would have had some rings. It would have changed the entire NBA. But if 23 doesn't exist, that does happen. There would have been some uncertainty. So yeah, I mean, it's about hating greatness. And that's really what it is. Now, I know nobody's here watching this right now, but hating greatness is the main pinnacle of that. It's sad. It's sad. And, I feel bad that O.J. Simpson passed away today. I do. Just like I felt bad when Tupac died. Just when I felt bad when Biggie died, although I thought Diddy had something to do with that too. But you gotta feel bad for people. Somebody died. How do you not feel bad for someone if they die? No matter how good or bad they did things in life, how do you feel? How do you do that? Just rolling these facts out there, guys. So anyway, I kind of wanted to get that on my chest. So yeah, rest in peace to O.J. Simpson. And I think he left with an astounding career. Regardless of everything else, if you take away all that other stuff, the man was a very successful human being. That God fell backwards because of a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, it was really big stuff. I'm not taking away from Nicole Brown Simpson and the husband and the whoever she was with. I think she was with somebody else too. And that's why people linked it up as rage. But, if memory serves me correct, that's what happened. So it's tough. It's I never, even Nicole Brown Simpson, I feel bad before dying. I don't ever want to see someone die. I would hope that everybody would think the same way that I think in that way. But, like O.J. Simpson he had a great career. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to look around online after I'm done this live. And I'm going to see how many actual athletes talk about O.J. Simpson. I want to know about what everybody felt. And I want them to be honest about it. I want some sincerity to what people really thought of O.J. People that knew him. I'm curious. That's just all I'm really going to say about it. So, I don't know. I'm going to get off here. I hope everybody watches this. Hit the subscribe button underneath or wherever the subscribe button is. I don't know where it's at on here. And, put the like. And I'm going to continue to do lives from time to time, and we'll get down to business, and we'll talk about things. This was a subject that needed to be talked about today. O.J. Simpson, rest in peace. Talk soon, guys. Anyway, X-Man out.